It's taken me a while to get the light right. It's bright out here, a little bit bright, but if I turn towards the house, it makes it quite dark. It's been a really odd day. It's been overcast when we went out this morning. We had doctor's appointments this morning, so we were out quite early, so it was overcast. And then at times today it's got really dark and it's rained a bit, and I know that a little further north there's been thunder. We've not had thunder, and now there's some bright stuff, some blue sky. The sun's about to come out and hit me here. I might have to turn the camera. I got the GoPro out the back doing cloud video, and I've got me out the front doing this video, and I don't know what I'm going to talk to you about, but I just felt like getting out here in the sun whilst it was out and making the most of it. I was awake at about 5, so I was really tired. Got to the doctor's, and we go in, and he asked how we are, and I said, okay, how are you? I'm going to turn you now. How are you? And he went, I'm okay. And I went, you don't look it. I can't help myself. If somebody's not looking okay, I have to say. I can't just not say anything. No, that's not working, is it? No, that's not working either. I'm really dazzled now. That's a bit better, I suppose. So I said, well, you don't look okay. And he sort of laughed, and then he went, well, I was up too soon. So he was up at 5 as well. So he did look tired. And the problem is that, as you know, well, as I know, when I'm tired, trying to speak another language is really difficult. And he speaks, he speaks to us in English. And I could see him struggling throughout the consultation. And I said to him at the end, I'm really sorry. I know that must be really hard when you're tired. You'll be pleased when some French people come in and you can go back to your normal language. Quiet. I also gave him a hard time. I normally do. I'm a bit I'm a difficult everything, aren't I? A difficult patient. He, despite my good blood results, he still said my cholesterol wasn't how he'd like it to be, and that, it was unlikely that I could change my diet enough to bring the LDL down. And I said to him, well, I have brought it down. He said, but it's not enough. And I said, well, I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. Can we see how it is? And he went, I don't think you'll be successful. I thought, thanks very much. But he said a lot of it's genetic. But my issues around cholesterol is that I've read in places that you're meant to have cholesterol in your body. Your body makes cholesterol for a reason. And there's 2 different types of LDL. There's and that's not shown on the on your blood results. You just get LDL, and there's 2 different types. One's good, one's not so good. So he said that he'd give me another blood test for 3 months, and that we'd have the discussion again. And I will be politely declining. I'm not going to take statins. I don't believe in them. And I've been looking this afternoon at the various places and thinking about all the people that pay for research and fund the research, and quite often the research on cholesterol and heart disease and various other things has been paid for by the very people that are going to benefit if the results show what they want to show. And scientists have been threatened at times not to present the outcomes if they haven't fitted the brief from the company that's paid for it. For years the sugar industry has been going, oh, look over there at the fat, that's causing the problem. He talked about eating red meat. How many times do you eat meat? How many times do you eat red meat? I went, once or twice a week. And he said, well, you should only have it about once a week. I said, you're talking to a carnivore. And I said, he said, it's bad for this, it's bad for that, it's bad for your heart. I said, one of the pieces of research that I have read about was done on American red meat, which is grain-fed, hormone-pumped red meat, whereas the meat I buy is just up the road from here, where, you know, where we go to him, the farm's a kilometre up the road. I said, that's where I buy my meat from. So it's grass-fed, it's not corn-fed. He said, well, it's a bit better. So yeah, not only was he tired, I gave him a hard time, but we do push back, because quite often, and you know, I understand that GPs can't know everything. They know a lot about a lot of things and everything, but they have to take it all in, whereas I can take in the bits that work for me. Now this isn't me being arrogant, but I know a lot more about my polymyalgia rheumatica than he does, because obviously I live it and I learn from other people about it, the people I talk to on the health forum. So I know a lot about it, whereas he knows the bit that he was taught. And the two things that came up for me, sorry Jane, is that when you mentioned to somebody that you're on steroids, both say, well, you ought to get down to 9 milligrams. And Jane said that to me, and he says that to me. It's like, it's obviously what they've been taught. And yes, I do need to get down, and I'm about to do that. But there's more to it than that. So yeah, we push back. I push back about mammograms. I no longer have a mammogram, because mammograms can be quite damaging to breast tissue, which is, you know, just as bad as, you know, can cause problems. I'm not going to go too hard into that, because obviously people have their own beliefs, but so I won't. I don't have mammograms, and we've declined any PSA test, prostate, PSH, it might be PSH, prostate stimulating hormone test for Mark, because again, it's going to bring up in many old men, if he had that in his blood test, it would show that his stimulating hormones are higher, because he's an older man. And even our doctor agreed with us that many old men, when they perform autopsies on men that have died, many of them have got enlarged prostates but have not had symptoms. So all the while you don't have symptoms, then there's no need to do anything about it. So it's a case of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So yeah, I was a bit assertive, but too tired to be very assertive. I didn't throw articles at him, which I've done before. I've given him articles before. If I find any, I'll take them next time, with a box of eggs or something as an apology. But yeah, so that's what we did. And then we came back. I did a bit of shopping, and Vicky was here when we got back, and she's cleaned, and we didn't go to art. I was really tired, and we're still, I think, recovering. Obviously we've only been back since Saturday, so we went up to bed and had a siesta. I think I had nearly an hour and 3/4, so I felt a lot better, and we'll go back to art feeling on form, I think, next week. So that's it really. We're doing my cloud video. Hopefully, I'm not sure which way the clouds are going. That way. Okay. I might have come out here and done them. Oh dear. Oh well. It's with GoPro. I'm still practicing with that. I've got it just videoing. I don't even think it's on time lapse, so but I can speed it up in editing, so that's not a problem. But yeah, I'm still trying to work it out. I let Mrs. Broody out of her cage. I'll see how I let her out this morning when I went down and let them out quite early. We left here at 9:15, so I left them out at 8:30. I'm hopeful that she's been out for the day and not gone and snuggled down, otherwise it's going to be a hell's own job trying to break her again. But if she is snuggled down, she'll be back in the cage tonight. And I know I'll get there, because we did with the others. Mrs. Hobbalong is the problem at the moment. Okay, so thank you for watching and liking. Thank you to the new subscribers. It's gradually going up, my subscribers, and I don't know why. They're not doing anything exceptional. you know who. Yeah, I don't know why, but they are. And I'm very grateful, thank you. Oh, I know, I was going to say I'm watching our Dream Welsh Chapel, or our Welsh Chapel, which is his name Keith Bryn Jones? I didn't know him from the punk rock era. I didn't know that he had been, you know, that he's a bit after my time, so I didn't realise. But he is the host of the Pottery Throw. Is it Pottery Throwdown? The Great British Pottery Throwdown. Yeah, he's the host of that, and he and his partner Marge have bought a chapel in Pwllheli in Wales, and oh my god, it's enormous, and they have no idea. They have no idea. And she reminds me of so many people. She's just lovely. She reminds me of my friend Suze. She reminds me of a little bit of Dawn French, and she reminds me slightly of Philippa, Grayson Perry's wife, and someone else who I can't remember her name now. The singer who sung "Fuck You." I can't remember her name now, but she reminds me of her. So it's this whole mix of people that she reminds me of. But they both cry. So Keith cries. I mean, he cries when people do really lovely pottery, and he loves it. He cries, and she cries. So they both cry. I'm intrigued by that. But what I also like is that their relationship reminds me a little of Mark and I. The banter between them, the connection. You know, that they know exactly where each other's going with something, and I love that. So I've watched, because it had recorded and I'd forgotten, I'd set it to record before we left, so I've come back and I think I had 4 episodes on there, so I've watched it right up until they move into the container that they've put together. Interestingly, this last episode they went to Dungeness, and we were close to Dungeness on the day that we didn't actually end up going to Rye, and I thought about driving out to Dungeness because it's the most amazing place. Really, it's got a completely different atmosphere. It's I'm going to use spooky. But it isn't spooky. But it's right on the edge of the coast. There's a nuclear power station on the edge of it. It's a nature reserve, and there's people have got various houses there that they've built out of railway carriages. Derek Jarman's house is there, which they visited. It's called Prospect Cottage, and I nearly said to Mark, "Should we drive out to Dungeness?" Because it would have made a lovely vlog, but I was just too tired, so I didn't. So it was lovely to see it on this Welsh Chapel thing last night. This afternoon I watched it. So yeah, so that was that. So that's what I'm watching, and all the other things I mentioned. But yeah, that I'm really, really pleased I recorded that. It's nice to get to know a bit more about him and to meet her, because I knew nothing about him. You know, I knew that people knew him from before, but I didn't, because I'm too old. Okay, I think Mark's gone in the garage. I think he's going to probably ride his bike. So it's about 6:30, and I'll see you later. Bye.